What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, and CreateSpace. A link will be in the description box below as usual. I'll go get it. This video is entitled Conversations with Dad. It's a man's world, not a mom's world. Some of the conversations you have to have with your children, along the way as they grow older, or you don't get to have. So some of you children who haven't had this conversation, this is what this particular playlist is for. So this is a man's world, but it would mean nothing without a woman or a little girl. Mazio! See, y'all don't know about James Brown. Anyway, what I mean by that is this. When you're raised predominantly by your mother or in a matriarchal environment, you're raised in a mom's world. But the world that you're raised in is not the world that you will be living in as an adult. So you're going to have a real bad battle as you grow older and older because, you feel like, my mama said this, my mama said that. But your mama's view on the world is not a man's view of the world because it's two different. It comes from two different spaces. So, you follow the rules in your mom's house. You follow her rules and regulations. But who built that house was a man or some men. Who put electricity and plumbing in that house was some men. If you don't own that house outright, the person that probably owns that mortgage is some men. The things that need to get fixed in the house probably gonna need to get fixed by men. And this is what I mean by it's a man's world, not mom's world. Because some of you, as a child, some of y'all are taught to disrespect your father, and that also means that you disrespect men. Without the understanding of you're gonna grow up into a man's world, and this ideology that you're gonna be biting the hand that feeds you. Because let's use like family courts, child support stuff. Like it's a man's responsibility to take care of his kids, whether he's with or not with the mother of his child or children. So his fiscal and financial responsibility is there, but also the mental and emotional presence, but the guidance also is needed. But this is what happens where you have these splits with these broken families. People look at it as power to alienate one parent from another. But if a mom alienates a dad, what happens is you don't just alienate the dad, you alienate that opportunity to understand how to operate in a man's world. So some of you young cats and some of you people, grown cats out here, have issues with authority. Why? Because you saw your mom get away with things, and that men let women get away with, but they don't let men get away with. If you're a young girl, you saw your mom do things that you started to pattern, and all you saw was how, on a short-term sense, she got something out of it, but you didn't see how much she lost in a long-term sense. Because you got to remember, you were a child too, and you were impulsive, and all you saw was the instant gratification part. So, because men will let you get away with some things in a sense of a stakeout. So you can put your character and your choices out on the line. So once we decide to actually make a decision on which way to go with you, it's based in fact. It's based in your choices. It's based in your character, your integrity. It's not a feeling. And what winds up happening, people think, well, that's why they think their mom can do no wrong. Because your mom's operating in mom's world. She's not operating in a man's world. Sometimes when people talk about single mothers, that's one of the issues that, you know, your mom can only operate in mom's world. She can't work and cooperate with a man. She can't follow direction from a man. She's rude to men. So, you know, you take on those traits. And as you grow older, you know, you're rude to the boys, whether you're a boy or girl. You're rude to, you know, your teachers if they're male. You know, but most schools teachers are predominantly female. So if a female tells you to get in line, it's like a representation of your mom. But if a man tells you to get in line, you have an issue with authority. You know, you have coaches. You might buck your coaches, right? And as you get older, once you get to a college level or military level or trade school level, you know, the levels that introduce you to skill sets that are going to give you an opportunity to provide a living for yourself and your family, or to create an idea, to create a business, to have a company that would provide for you and your family and build a legacy. You start to see more and more men. And, you know, your mom's world starts to get removed and replaced because the man's world has no place for mom. Now, a lot of these men could love their mothers, but that don't have anything to do with it, because when a war happens, your mama don't go. You know, natural disaster happens, the mothers aren't united in the cleanup crew cutting on electricity and, you know, creating dams and so on and so forth and getting supplies to people. That's not what moms do. You know, getting the power grid going. You know, your moms are not the ones fixing the cars and, you know, fixing the roads and putting up skyscrapers and making sure all these buildings have all these nice amenities. Your moms aren't the one. You know, your mom uses the washing machine, but moms are not creating the washing machines. You get what I'm saying? Moms drive the car. Mom don't make the car. And then you start to go, wait. You know, what am I doing? You know, and it becomes an issue because now it's a culture shock. A man's world becomes a culture shock for a lot of people. And that culture shock, in some ways, can be a moment of truth for some, because it's hard to check your ego at the door when you were taught that men were beneath you, whether you are a man or a woman. You know, it's hard to, you know, think, oh, these men are smarter than me. These men have a better work ethic than me. You know, these men have better character, better morale, better morals, better integrity than I do. These men have a better, you know, have a will to win that I don't. These men have a killer instinct. Mama didn't teach you that. You know, same thing with the young ladies. It's hard because they send these young women out here who disrespect men on a regular, and then at the same time, they want men. They need men. They want men to protect them. They want men to provide for them. They want men to tell them that they're special. Because dad didn't get a chance to tell you, or dad didn't tell you, you know. So now you want these men to love you because you feel like you're entitled to love, but you're also entitled to disrespecting them, and men don't work like that. So now you're leaving mom's world of how mom would treat men, and you're going into a man's world, and you're trying to treat men the way that mom would treat men, forgetting that don't nobody want your mama. That's why your mama is perpetually single. That's why nobody deals with your mama. That's why people might come in and have sex with your mother and leave, and you're wondering why you don't have a father figure or didn't have a father figure. Is because she wasn't a good person. And then you have this ideology where you start getting acclimated to the man's world, and you start seeing it's not as bad as you thought. You starting to see it has guidelines, it has structure, it has orders, it has rules, it has regulations. And now you see why, and it has contingencies. And now you see why if you break a rule, you know you will pay for it. It makes sense to you. And, you know, then it's like, okay, all these things that I could get away with in mom's world, I can't get away with in man's world. But I can get more benefits in man's world and keep them longer than I can, but I won't be able to maintain anything or keep anything in mom's world. So which one is best suited for my life? And since a man's world is about building, maintaining, creating, there's always new opportunity. So usually it's more conducive. Most people can see the opportunity for success in a man's world that they can't see in mom's world. So these are the conversations with dad that some of y'all haven't had because, you know, you thought mom was right. And that's before I go, that's one of the issues also is you start hitting these brick walls in life because you took your mom's ideology into a man's world and it didn't work. And you would throw these tantrums and these fits and it'll be so unfair that you didn't understand it because you think everybody should just do what you want them to do. And it didn't work like that. You know, people had requirements of you. And just for some people, that was also a culture shock that people expected you to be deserving of the opportunities that you asked for. And if you weren't deserving, you didn't get them. So I'm going to keep this about in this area right here. So we're going to stop it right here. Y'all have a good day. Peace.